Good morning or afternoon, YouTube. We're back here for some NBA is Past the Prop NBA edition. 11 gamer tonight. We have one of the bigger slates that we've had in a long time. Going to be probably over on DFS tonight. We're going to be everywhere tonight, going around to some pretty high totals tonight. I know your team is in action. I'm sure we're going to hear about that. Unfortunately, my Bucks aren't in action, so I can't talk about that either. So super pumped for tonight's slate. Stu, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. We got a little bit of a post-Super Bowl hangover going today, but it kind of symbolizes the transition, right? We're fully in NBA grind season, right around the corner from MLB season, like Ryan's saying in the chat. So we have to give away one thing that we love, right? I mean, my name is Monotone Football. I obviously am going to miss the NFL a good amount, but we got plenty of stuff to look forward to, and I'm really glad the NBA schedule makers handled it like this because we've got a great slate today. There's a ton of close games. A lot of good teams, and yeah, my Wizards are even playing, so I'm feeling pretty happy. I'm feeling pretty good about today.
Yeah, and I do agree. I really like what they did. Only 2 games, right? We only had 2 games yesterday. Not gonna say they were bad games, but they weren't great games, right? They gave us Detroit, Toronto, and I don't even remember the other one. Boston, Memphis, maybe. Boston, yeah. Memphis, maybe something like that. So that was a good game, but he had to recap how it went. Is everything working on your end? I'm seeing it kind of go in and out here.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit for me, but I can hear you now. It looks like we're back.
All right. Let's recap our show there. We can go to Wednesdays first, and we'll go from there. Did they go? They went for one, did they, or did they not go for any?
I don't believe they hit this one, unfortunately, which is sad. I was feeling real good about this one. This one was the one I probably liked a lot, but that's life.
We got this one, right? That one cashed pretty easy.
We did. The anti-fun bet ends up a winner, okay? You guys can leave me alone for that. And we got this one too, a high-scoring game. I mean, it could have been, a 60-yard play, and we still would have covered the over. So love this spot right here. Glad it cashed.
So I believe we went up 4 units on this show because I did end up sweeping this one. First touchdown score under 11.5. Kansas City team total over Siakam points. He had 27 points. Chiefs cleared that. And thank Jesus, Volkanovski lasted through that second round. Dude, he was on his back. He had like 4 minutes of back control in there. But Volkanovski didn't get choked out. I talked about it on the show. He did get choked out by Ortega. Why do I think he's going to get choked out by a Russian guy? Ortega is so dangerous on the ground. So he ended up getting all of those. So I believe we went up 4 units on that show. And I believe that was a 5-1 show there. So I got to make sure I get that.
I love that cross sport. I mean, I practically claimed it as a win already. I was counting the money already after the Volkanovski fight. I didn't realize the Eagles would make it so close with the total, but great call there. That was obviously a great fight. I'm looking forward to whenever those two go at it again because that was some easy money right there too.
Yeah, and we needed every second, right? We needed it to go full or else we were going to get screwed by those touchdowns by the Eagles. Going through Wednesday's show, this was our final total. I think, how did we do in that late one? I know Hurts did it. I only had the 1.
I went 1-1. So I went 1-1 with Hurts cashing and Tony missing.
Okay, so down 1.2.
About that, yeah, 1.2. Because I lost him the juice, and then you lost Mahomes. So
yeah, dude, and what really made me mad is he only missed it by 1. Or only missed it by like 4 completions. And the dude had a touchdown scored on defense and a 5-yard field to score, and they only missed it by 4. So I guess we can officially put the season in the books. This is our year 2 past the prop record. Overall, 66-57. A lot of time, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat. I don't know if we had a lot of blood. Honestly, I don't think we've had any blood on the show, but you never know for next year. But maybe tears with how bad Washington was, how bad my Packers were, maybe. So we can go from there. But very successful, very happy to be ending up pretty positive. A lot of long shots came through. So I guess this is a farewell to the football season officially.
Yeah, but like I said, a positive farewell. We ended on a good note. I mean, the good thing, the Super Bowl being that high, people aren't really betting unders, so everyone was cashing yesterday. Pretty much, if you bet on someone not named like Kadarius Toney, you were cashing tickets yesterday, so that was fun. I don't know if you were following. I did lose my Zach Pascal bet that I ended up.
I saw that. I saw you got a 9-yard catch. I'm like, is Stu really gonna win this by the hook because he caught it 9 yards and the fucker catches a 2-yarder just to ruin everybody's day?
I need the measuring stick out for plays like that. I'm convinced he only got 1.5 right there. I don't know what that is. It's rigged, obviously, against my bet. But yeah, I was ready to flex, because he did get one catch, but it was only 9 yards, and I was real fired up after that. But the 2-yard ends up, getting me on the hook right there. But that's okay.
And Terrence, I'm ready to make it into some NBA guys now, right? Gino, tip your cap. Boy came through for us. Pollard, obviously. Quick recovery, hopefully, and happy retirement to Brady. You made us a lot of money on your last year. When my kids talk about the GOAT, greatest of all time there, talking about Tom Brady, I will always talk about his completions in his last season when his team sucked. I will talk about it. I'll make sure they come up and be like, hey, do you watch Tom Brady when you're younger? I'm like, yeah, I was cashing bets with him every single week. We end up cashing up double digits because all you do is take his completions because they couldn't run the ball for shit. So it was a good year. A lot of good guys made it an easier year for us just betting on some of the same guys there.
Yeah, that's a yearly tradition. There's always it was Nick Chubb and Hunter Renfrow last year. It'll be Jamison Williams and Jahan Dotson next year. We'll find our guys, okay? We'll find these guys that maybe people are sleeping on, like Gino, who you were like the original cheerleader for, or even that Jacksonville look. I mean, nobody's really talking about them, and we were here on the show like, Jacksonville could actually be pretty good this season. So I always enjoy going through it. And hey, we'll have all that kind of stuff for MLB as well. So people definitely want to tune in for that.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Another good year, another fun year. I'm happy we're actually able to keep it up this year in terms of like every week giving you numbers. I know last year I kind of fell behind and we were just putting out so much damn content that it was hard to keep up. And NFL, you can just obviously do it a little bit easier. Let's take a look at the chat here, and then we'll talk about this NBA slate. We'll get rid of the tears. We'll get rid of the sad stuff. We're back for some NBA, so don't cry, guys. We're back. Obviously, you're here to see some NBA stuff. So let's take a look. We got Terrence in the chat, first guy in. Sorry about the Eagles there. So Roger, ready to cash some props. I am so excited for MLB season. I'm wearing the hat because we've been doing very, very well, man. Been doing very, very well with this hat. I've been wearing it for my run on the YouTube Play of the Day videos for college basketball. Ever since I got it, we're 8-0. So knock on wood for that. I'm not playing it today. The college basketball slate's kind of garbo today. So get to focus on some NBA. We got Mark in here. Appreciate you, my guy. 20 of you guys in here in the first 9 minutes. That Laker game's going to be fun. Portland. Dame Dolla's going to find his way into a healthy amount of my lineups tonight. I already know that. Derek White show. What about that, dude? Derek White pop off again. Double-double last night. 10 assists. Jesus.
Yeah, I wasn't watching, but White's just even these last couple games just casually been showing up with no Marcus Smart. Kind of showing. I mean, this guy, people forget, he was like the number 2 on the Spurs pretty much that whole first half of the season before he got traded. Like he was at like a 26% usage mark, something around there. So glad he's actually taking advantage of opportunity. He's a great defender too. Definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I don't think it can go overlooked with obviously the Marcus Smart is huge because that's when he's kind of taking a step forward. But we got Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon both out there too. And Brogdon and him have been very, very productive off the bench. That is the reason why I think Boston is so scary. But obviously he's getting a lot more looks without those guys there. Checking out Sir Roger talking about the Siakam points. Good shit. We'd love to see it. Quinn, we're in here ready to roll. It's just for right now it is. I have a lot more hats. My dog ate my Florida Marlins hat, my nice blue one. He ate the whole top off here. So we had to get a new one there. But yeah, I'm super pumped. I have not run have you done the 10K thing? I have not run it. I'm not, I don't know. Every time I see it, it just seems like everybody's playing like minus 500, like 3 of them, And I don't do those. I don't look at those ever.
Well, the problem is you have to win 10 straight to win it, or you're just back at 0. I like to progressively make money as I go, not just bet all my money that I just made on another prop. So it doesn't really fit our style around here. I thought about just randomly throwing it in some of the things like, because the SEO on it is really good, just being like, whoa, check out my tenda, and just a regular play. But I that was a little too, mischievous. So I decided to stay away from that. But we're just chilling. We're just giving away, regular player props. You can put them in a challenge if you'd like. That's kind of the goal. We give you the information and you do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. What was the word you just used? Mischievous? What is that? You mean mischievous?
Yeah, I was trying to pivot out of there quick, okay? I was trying to change the topic. I dug myself in a hole, so let's keep it moving.
I'm like, bro, that sounds like some Pokemon or something, bro. You're just making this shit. I'm like, that sounds good at least. At least it sounded decent. But yeah, I had to get that in there. I knew you tried to swing through there. I've done enough shows with you when I know you're trying to get it out. So I had to bring it back there, but all right, we're ready to roll. We're ready to roll here. Let's take a look at the slate. A lot of closely contested games here. A lot of 1 point, 2 point spreads, threes. What we like to see for terms of props and the overs that we like to bet on. Obviously, today you have an under on your slate, but we'll get to that in a second. We're not using Washington. Can't use Washington. I feel like that is just going without saying at this point. Yeah. But what is the game we're looking at here for you, at least?
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. I'll go, for me, it's probably got to be the Jazz and the Pacers game, surprisingly enough. I love these games where players are in new roles. They're in new positions. They're just doing different lineups. We're seeing different things. So I like the Nets for that reason as well. Pretty much any of these teams that have massively shaken everything up. But I don't know, the Jazz Pacers really fits, in my opinion, what we like to do. We've been on a bunch of young guys, a bunch of guys in new roles, just, new NBA basketball that we haven't seen this season.
Yeah, and I think you guys already know with how much money I've been betting on Damian Lillard. I'm going back to that game. It's a 1 point spread. You're giving me Portland at home. I can't get away from it. Dude, have we seen a run like this in terms of Vegas giving so much respect to a player? 35.5 has been his consistent number over the last week. Yeah. I get it. We've lost a lot of minutes. Josh Hart is gone. RIP, dude. You saw I had to give him a shout out on the fucking thumbnail. That man deserves a thumbnail piece. He needed it. So shout out Josh Hart. Obviously, I love you. You're one of my favorite players. So hope you do well in New York. But that is not what we're talking about. But there's so many minutes here. There's so much volume from Damian Lillard. It's crazy. So I like the matchup. Obviously, we have Anthony Davis on the other side who's just been feasting. What the hell is he going to do to Drew Eubanks? RIP to that man tonight. You might see I'm going to go over under 8 blocks into the second row from that man. It's going to be bad. So besides that, I just think this is a fun matchup, right? You got 240 total, 1 point spread. You have superstars on both sides of the ball. We still don't know if LeBron is playing, but still, honestly, I hope he doesn't. I want to see D'Lo continue to play. I want to see how his role goes. Really, really, really excited to have that combo of guards with Dennis Schroeder and D'Angelo Russell. They looked fantastic there. I'm really curious to see how it does go when LeBron is back, right? Because of how ball dominant he is and running the point. I think he's going to have to turn into more of a shooting type of guy instead of like that, because D'Angelo Russell is so good at getting people open in the open court. So you can see that with Schroeder and all those shots he got off ball, which he usually is the guy creating for people. So it was a good game to watch in their last one with them together. I'm really curious how they're going to do it if they're going to run Schroeder off the bench and kind of have him in that Russell Westbrook 25-minute role. But, yeah, I'm excited.
That should be a good one, man. I mean, like you've been the number one Dame guy around here, but obviously Blazers, Lakers is always going to be a pretty high scoring kind of environment. The number one problem I have right now, the Lakers making all these trades for these guys, like you said, it kind of complicates the rotation a little bit, like even when LeBron is back, or even if he isn't back tonight, which I don't think he's going to play. That's just my guess if I had to guess. But I mean, they brought in Mo Bamba, we got Beasley, we got Vanderbilt, we already brought in Rui. These are a lot of different guys that you have to kind of decide between, and D'Lo, who you mentioned as well, that you have to give minutes to. So I don't know how that new rotation is going to be, but I think to take advantage of it, someone like LeBron is going to have to sit, for it to make it easier to bet on just for the rest of us.
Yeah, I can't get over how good of a trade. I love Jared Vanderbilt. I think he actually fits this team fantastic. Just because he's actually tough, and you don't really have much of that on this team. You have a very very poor defensive team, obviously outside of Anthony Davis. So, I'm pumped for that game. But we got about 20 of you guys in here. First 15 minutes, we're going to start getting after our plays here. If you guys could hit the like button, we appreciate that. And, let's go right on into it. I'll kick it to your first play, and we'll start out with the half unit spot.
Sounds good. I went over to FanDuel for this one. We're going over to Collin Sexton over 4.5 assists. We obviously know this was a team that was very active at the trade deadline. And one of the big reasons I think why they were so comfortable of kind of moving their point guard was Sexton was playing very well off the bench. He's playing very efficient. He was passing a little bit more than we're used to in his career. Sexton is still kind of a shoot first kind of guy, and he always, I think, will be, at least in my opinion. But we have seen some consistency getting these assists over these last 5 games, has 5 assists in each one, averaging 13 potential assists per game. So he's actually creating more opportunities. These guys just aren't taking advantage. And now we have Clarkson back in the lineup. I think a little people are worried about that. I think I've seen a couple people mention that. But honestly, Clarkson and Sexton, I do think their minutes are going to get kind of moved around a little bit. I think it's going to be pretty strategic right here because they're kind of similar players in skill set when you look at it. Both of them can create their own shot. They can score on multiple levels. And neither of them are the most comfortable as natural passers. But I think the reason we're getting Sexton as the point guard is because we know Clarkson can't do that. Like, he's not a distributor. Like, he's going to pick his own shot over somebody else's shot 10 out of 10 times. And I think the reason Sexton's actually getting more of a role right here is because he's shown he is willing to make those passes. They've got a bunch of bigs on this team that can make buckets around the rim. They have multiple pick and roll partners they can choose from. They obviously do have those guys out on the 3-point line as well. So I just like how many opportunities there are. I like the consistency that what he's been hitting this with. And the only thing I'm worried about, I guess, is it is getting a little bit popular out there when you're looking around. There's a lot of people on Sexton so far today, but over 9 of 12 games without Conley this season, averaging 5.3 assists in games of 30 minutes this season. That's including with both Conley and Clarkson. So there are a couple roadblocks, but I think Sexton has a really good game. And one final thing, I'm looking forward to checking out his first quarter markets whenever they open up. I thought they were a little bit underpriced last game, but I didn't have enough time to get them out. So I'm hoping we get some more underpriced lines for his first quarter as well.
I love it. Yeah, no, that Conley trade obviously helps out a ton here. And somebody has to take that step up. Also really impressed with Horton Tucker. He's been playing fantastic over these last couple games. I think the Jazz are kind of looking for that, especially if they can find their way in the playoffs. They're going to be interesting, man. They have so many bigs that can actually stretch the floor, and then you actually have a real big in Kessler.
Yep.
They're gonna be kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, I don't know if it's this year, but I mean, Laurie's young, Olynyk's not that old. I mean, defensively, yeah. I mean, it's not you're pretty poor. Collin Sexton ain't playing defense. Jordan Clarkson ain't playing defense, but with those bigs like that, you can run 3 dudes, 6'10", bigger than that out there. And Lauri Markkanen, I mean, you can play him at the 3 for damn sake. So it's tough. I mean, they're going to be a fun team to watch. And obviously, Sexton's been kind of taken into a new role here.
100%. Yeah, I always like betting on these teams where things get mixed up. I think that'll be a constant theme these next couple of days. Kind of things we can take advantage before the sports books can.
Great breakdown. I love it. And I'm going to probably another one that's probably decently popular. I didn't even put what it is. Obviously, I am I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I got everything else right, but I'm over on points and assists for Trey Young tonight. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of popularity. I like that he was questionable earlier this morning. Now they officially ruled him in like an hour ago. So if you're going to rule him in and not give me that questionable tag all the way through like 5 o'clock, I would have been a little bit more worried. But you mark him in this early, obviously goes through shoot around, everything will be good there. But again, when we take double up combo plays, we like having the ability on both. Let's just look at last game, 17 assists in last game, right? You look down this month, he's averaging 12.5 assists over his last 5 games, potential assists at 19 over his last 10. And on the season, it's still 17. So it's like, it's not like it's that big of a bump. It's only 1.5 assist bump and potential assists, but he's just so ball dominant. He's been so good, averaging 24 and 12.5 in the last 5 games. I get it. There hasn't been great matchups, but you also have to account for a couple blowouts in there as well. So I look at this game. I obviously expect points at 240 total. And we've seen him hit it twice against Charlotte And I just brought up, I like that he can do it in different ways. You saw him in the first game against Charlotte this year. He dropped 31 real points, right? 31-9. And then in the second game against them, I had it up here, is 25-12. So he ends up getting 37, right? He got hooked on that one, but he got 12 assists in that one. He only had to get 9 in the first one, and he crushes this. I also love that Charlotte's bottom 10 in free throws allowed. Trey Young is fantastic at grabbing those fouls on those drives. And even if we just look at those games, right, you look at those games that he played off against them, we saw 7 for 9 on free throws, which is one of his worst percentage-wise in a game this year. And then his first game where he dropped 31, he only played 34 minutes. They won by 19, and he went 13 from 14 from the line. Also, you get rid of Plumlee, you're bringing Mark Williams, heavy foul guy, Nick Richards, heavy foul guy. I mean, that could be a head-to-head contest every single game. Who gets more fouls? Because both of them are going to get you at least 4, right? But Mark Williams has been fantastic. I actually really wanted to see some of his lines out there. He's been really good in terms of the DFS market. But now you're bringing in 2 dudes that foul a ton. If they come down, it's just an easy pass up to Okongwu and or Capella. I can't get away from this number. I think it's going to be a run and gun. It's a show off between him and LaMelo. And this team is really, really, really poor defensively on the Charlotte side. I mean, PJ Washington is going to be out there probably guarding on the perimeter. Gordon Hayward's like 45, can't even move. Terry Rozier, no chance. So it's just tough with DeJounte and him. But we've been seeing Trey's potential assists pushing like 4 or 5 more than DeJounte Murray when he is playing. So I can't get away from this number.
Yeah, I actually really like this look right here. At first, to be honest with you, I mean, you know this. I don't really bet on Trey Young that often at all, so I was a little worried when you first said this. But actually, what really got me in the middle of kind of your pitch right there was thinking about the transition from Plumlee, a guy like who's very dependable. He's not going to, be great. He'll just be okay. He'll be very average. He'll kind of protect the paint. We've got now 2 young guys, Richards and Williams, who foul a lot. They've got a lot of potential. These aren't bad players, but these guys are now going to be tasked with defending the pick and roll against Trey Young, who's one of the best pick and roll operators in basketball. So just like you said, not only can he take it himself, he can draw those fouls, which, those young guys are definitely more likely to. I think there's going to be plenty of times where they overexpose on Trey. They go run in his face, and Okongwu or Capella is wide open for that little dump off in the paint right there. It's not an easy matchup. I do feel bad for these guys. Trey Young operating the pick and roll is something that's been giving people nightmares for a long time. So I really do like that specific angle right there, kind of taking advantage. There's no guard defense. We already know that. Like you said, Rozier and LaMelo, there's no guard defense whatsoever. Now we get Trey Young. I think he can do whatever he wants right here. What's the total? Like 240 in this game, something like
240
that?
240 and a half, 240.
Yeah, no, I love this spot. I'll be telling for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's take a look at the chat. I didn't see anyone in there. Oh, Joe bringing up Bridges.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've been seeing a lot of people on Bridges as well on Twitter. He's just playing so many minutes. It's hard to get away from him. So little options out there. Do you have a thought on Bridges tonight?
I mean, I think he's getting ready to be in the highest usage phase of his career, right? I mean, just from what we saw in that first game, if that's any indication, seems like Dinwiddie a little bit more of the facilitator, and we're going Bridges as more of the kind of the scorer right here. So I personally think we're going to see his points at 17, 18 for the rest of the season now. So you're not getting too much for this kind. I believe it's 16 and a half right now, 17 and a half. The way I think I might attack it, I think I might play an alt line today. I think I might bring it down to 14 or 15 and pair it with something else, because if he's going to shoot 16 times a game, I'll take that.
Perfect. I don't think we have any other questions here, so I guess we can just head right into play number 2 for us. A guy who's been making money for us, and we're seeing you on the other side of it.
Yeah, so I've been on here a lot, giving a lot of Sengun over, specifically in like the assist department. I've been on the points assist a couple times so far this season. Unfortunately, we're doing something people don't love right as much. We're going Sengun under 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. in a tough matchup against obviously Joel Embiid and the 76ers right here, a team that actually even got stronger with this big man defense, adding McDaniel into the mix now as well, who'll be playing that power forward position. He's one of those guys that now will add some defense in those minutes where Embiid is not out there. So I actually really do like that pickup for Philly, and I do think that's a nice little throw-in bonus right here. But the real win is that tough matchup against Joel Embiid. We know fouls. You mentioned just a couple minutes ago, Joel Embiid is clearly the best center in basketball, racking up those fouls. It's not even particularly close. Guys hit the line 10 plus times a game. Sengun is definitely going to be an unfortunate, consequence of that right here. I do think they'll mix up who they throw at Embiid. I don't think it'll always be Sengun. But guess what? Sengun is a drop big. He's not going to be guarding a 4 on the perimeter. He doesn't have enough flexibility where even if you wanted to hide Sengun from Embiid to keep him out of foul trouble, it's actually not possible with his skill set, right? He is not able to go out and guard a stretch 4 on the perimeter. He's not flexible enough, which means he will be in that zone where Embiid is at no matter what. It's kind of like a tight end and a safety going against each other in the NFL, right? Even if you do want to hide your guy, they're going to see each other quite often because the part where Sengun is actually able to defend at a low level is still the part where Embiid is going to score. So obviously the foul trouble is something I'm very worried about. But just when you look at it on the other side, this is a team that's going to pace down. When was the last time we saw Rockets total at 226?
I don't think ever.
Right? I mean, every time we get on the show, we talk about the highest total on the slate. It's pretty much always Rockets and whoever they're playing at 240, 245 even at times. So to see this back at now 225, almost a 20-point decrease, is really showing Philadelphia is going to slow this game down. It's going to be a way less high-paced excursion than the Rockets are used to. And it's just going to be one of those situations where I don't think this is a great game for Sengun to have a pop-off right here. He's been doing good for us. I like what he's doing, but it's a slower game, less points and assist opportunities, and I think he's going to run to foul trouble. I went through all that. I didn't even mention it's a 14-point spread in this game. I mean, the books are clearly telling you that they think this isn't going to be remotely close, and I do tend to kind of disagree. It's a very tough matchup for the Rockets. So I know Sengun's been good to us, but we're rolling with the under right here.
I really like this spot. Only thing I'll even bring up is just I saw that Embiid is questionable with the foot. If he is out, does that change your opinion on this spot? Do you think that this is more of like a stay away if he does, or do you think that this is a pretty safe line regardless of Embiid there?
No, it's definitely a stay away if Embiid does not play. I mean, I do not want to see Montrezl Harrell doing anything anymore right now. I know they got McDaniel. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. It should, but yeah, the thing is, Embiid's been questionable and pretty much a game time decision for like 3 weeks in a row now. So I did see that. I was a little worried. It looked like he went through shoot around and everything. So I'm just going to assume this is kind of the same injury report manipulation that we see day in and day out in the NBA.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you thought that, it's 15-point spread. We got James Harden facing Houston. Do we just say fuck it and just bench him and just let James Harden get his for a game? That's the only reason I think this is different because, I mean, you get a 15-point spread plus obviously a nice little revenge narrative there, even though this isn't even close to his first time playing Houston since he left. So.
Well, and it's in Philly, too. It's not even in Houston, right? If it was in Houston, I'd actually think about it a little bit more, a little bigger deal. But, yeah, hopefully he does play. And I think if you're really worried about him not playing, then you could just kind of wait it out, right? You could wait it out till like 5, 6. But, doing the show at 1 o'clock. Locked and loaded. So I'm willing to live and die with that ship. If he finally sits, then that'll suck. But, I've been hit by worse. So we'll bounce back.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up because I know I'm sure we're going to hear about it, but that's the difference of when we do it this early. We want to beat some of those line movements, right? And sometimes, obviously, injuries we don't know about. I mean, you could be the Miami Heat and bench 4 dudes right before the lock of the slate. So, yeah, screw the Heat, man. We can't talk about them. But, all right, my last play of today, of course, I had to talk about this game because I'm obsessed with this game. It's the late-night hammer game, and it's my favorite player right now. Actually, Damian Lillard and Josh Hart tied, so now Josh Hart obviously not there. But love this combo here. This is over on FanDuel. Damian Lillard, 30 points to go along with Anthony Davis to grab 12 rebounds. Stu, if I told you that Portland right now ranks in points in the paint in the NBA, 8th worst in the points in the paint allowed, How many do you think they gave up last game specifically against the Warriors?
Well, I mean, I know the Warriors take a lot of threes. So points in the paint, I don't know what do you think? Like 35, 40?
That's literally what I thought. I literally thought it was something like that. Then I looked, 70. They scored 70 points in the paint on the Warriors. That was like the one that baffled me when I saw that their last game they allowed 70 points in the paint. And obviously that is without Nurkic there. Obviously Josh Hart is a phenomenal defender on the outside too. So you're losing a lot. And obviously bringing Drew Eubanks in there to guard AD. I don't know what the thought process can be here for them double teaming, but obviously rebounding wise, Eubanks doesn't shoot threes either. There's no outside worry here for you. AD obviously is averaging 13 and a half rebounds per game over his last 5 to start the month of February, 16 back-to-back. The only game he didn't get there was against OKC, where I don't know what happened. I think it was foul trouble, where he had 4 fouls pretty early in the second half. But you go there, obviously he's hit it in 4 of 5. Obviously, hopefully the LeBron news hopefully stays out. That's what I'm hoping for. But Damian Lillard, again, I was talking about it. We haven't seen respect like this from the books in a very, very long time. He's averaging 35 points per game to start the month here. 38, 33. I mean, he's only missed this number twice, and he's gotten 28 and 29. Those are his bad games at this point. It's 28 points. I would not be surprised to see Damian Lillard push towards being the top scorer in the NBA now with how much volume this man is getting. He's a phenomenal free throw shooter, shooting 97% to start this month, and he's averaging 13 attempts per game, and he's still shooting 97%. This is his efficiency is phenomenal. Obviously, I love that he still has Anthony Simons there to take away some of it, right? So he obviously is a phenomenal three-point shooter too. I believe you brought that up on our last show, how well he has been shooting the basketball. I'm pretty sure he's number 1 in the NBA, right, in terms of percentage? It's like 1 or 2.
Yeah, somewhere up there. It qualified at attempts for sure.
I always like the buy downs in these games that are probably going to be pretty popular, right? These get popular games. We want to be down a couple points because how many times have we gotten hooked on these? Damian Lillard ends up with 35 points, 10 assists, does phenomenal, and you still get hooked on his points, right? Even though he had an absolutely phenomenal game. So in this spot, I see Davis's rebounds, I believe, is 12 and a half, minus 130. I think it's like minus 190 for 12. And Damian Lillard for 30 points is like minus 380 or minus 400 at this point, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd. So love the pace, love the spread, hoping LeBron continues to sit. I can't get away from these.
Yeah, I mean, even I personally been reading that LeBron, the injury is a little worse than maybe it was leading on, and that it's going to linger for a while. So I've heard he might be sitting out for maybe a little longer than people think. So I think that might factor in a little bit. But I like this either way. And you kind of mentioned it. Dame, I mean, since we've been doing the show, there's not been a single person. I mean, since I've been doing my Twitter account, think back to bubble times NBA, there hasn't been a player in the 35 range this consistently, like at that 35 number. I remember there was a Steph Curry streak where he was sitting at 33 was like the highest he got. You know what I mean? So what he's doing right now is actually insane. And it's kind of crazy if this was happening in Golden State or somewhere that's not Portland, right? Then maybe more people would be talking about it. But I like that we get to keep taking advantage right here. So I'll be telling you, AD's dominant. It's common sense. What is Drew Eubanks going to do to Anthony Davis? I don't think very much.
Yeah, and I don't even know what they're running out behind him. Watford? Trendon Watford going to be running power forward, bro? It's like, Christ. I don't know what they could do unless you just send an automatic double. And then obviously you have guys who can shoot now. Dennis Schroeder and D'Angelo Russell both shoot the 3-ball well. Outside of them, maybe Reeves. But yeah, I mean, this is a great look too. I've been in these late games. I've been screwed so many times by the hook that I'm just going to take this spot, especially with a guy like Dame that I'm confident in. Again, 35 and a half is just a scary number for me to bet on, right? That half point. 35 is such a good game. Like, that is so good. And just for me to think that I could have a guy score me 35 points and I could lose, oh, dude, that would just burn at me. So I like buying him down both. I think it's an easier way for me to get exposure to two guys I really like today.
Yep.
Latoya, you're speaking my language. I love it. I will be betting Josh Hart rebounds until the day I die, man. Until he retires, I'm going for him. It's just I want to see the minutes. Obviously, he played 26 or 28 minutes. I don't remember which one was specifically in their first game. So curious how that rotation is going to fall, if they're just going to get rid of Grimes and just kind of go with Hart in some of these rotations. If you're going to have Quickly's minutes cut down, I don't know. I don't even know how you can really run 3 ball dominant dudes for 40 minutes. Josh Hart fits this team perfectly, right? He doesn't need the ball to be good. Yeah. He's very good at what he does. I think he had 3 steals, 5 assists in that first game. Perfect pickup.
Yeah, no, Josh Hart, I just checked it. He had 7 rebounds, 4 steals in that first game, just coming in. Just the full Josh Hart experience, giving you a little bit of everything. So I agree. The problem is that it's these teams that are going to be running like 12-man rotations right now because they got a lot of young guys over there. So I would hope Hart can get to that 30-minute mark, but I'm not sure I really see that going forward. I think he might be stuck in kind of the 25 to 27 kind of range.
Yeah, which sucks because on Portland, he was running 34 to 37. So I guess what I would bring up to you, and obviously I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit, with Portland, now that the rotation is obviously cut down, right? You have no Nurkic, Hart was 35-plus minutes. When we look at these secondary pieces, outside of Simons, outside of Grant, outside of Damian Lillard, right? Mm-hmm. Who are we kind of looking at that could be like one of those dark horse guys here, right? They have Shaedon Sharpe, who's been pretty good. I would lean him probably. But is there anybody else in that little weird range that you've been looking at all?
Yeah, the Sharpe was going to be the obvious answer, I think, right there. I think his points were only at 8.5 in that first game, and I know he definitely went over that one. I think Reddish, I don't know if I really want to be betting on Cam Reddish. He started. That got everyone hyped up. Everyone was like, whoa, first game back starting after not being in a rotation for like 2 years. But then he only played 17 minutes. So Sharpe, obviously, I think played like 27, 28, something like that. So I think we need to give this one a little bit of time to kind of see how it all settles out. But I think Sharpe would be the early advantage just on like points. But nobody really plays that Josh Hart role. I mean, Josh Hart does everything but points, right? So, I mean, who kind of picks up the rebounding? Who picks up those secondary assists? I have no clue. Like, I don't know if they have a guy that really fits that mold anymore out here. Do you have any thoughts? Reddish, maybe?
Reddish, dude, I know this is a hot take. I don't hate Kevin Knox. I actually don't hate him. I don't. I'm not saying he's good, but like I like kind of what he brings to this team and just being able to sit in the corner. Because you can't put Jeremy Grant out there because the dude's 3-point shooting is not good. I've watched enough Portland games with how much money I've been betting on Dame Lillard and Josh. I probably have the most money put on Portland games of anybody not in Portland because I just bet on those two pretty much every single game. But you still have Justice Winslow who has to come back. True. Maybe he eats into some of that. But, I mean, Nasir Little is now back, I guess. But there's nobody that can really do all of it. And that's really what's frustrating as a prop bettor because we can't go to someone specifically to come through for us because it's just going to be broken up.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kevin Knox has got to be one of the worst NBA players in the league right now. So I'm not going to let you get away with that right there.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I don't hate him. Like everybody hates him. Like you can't go up to somebody and say Kevin Knox and not say, oh, I fucking hate that guy. He's awful. I think he could be good here. He just has to stand in the corner. All you have to do is shoot threes. Dude, you literally have to play zero defense and shoot threes. That's how you play Portland basketball. And I'm not a huge Jeremy Grant fan. I don't know why. I've just never really been there.
Just sign Stanley Johnson. The Spurs.
I saw that. They dropped him. Got rid of him. That's a huge pick. Dude, he's like shooting 40+% from three, dude.
It's crazy. I mean, Stanley Johnson, too, is like a legit, like, all-star defender. Like, this dude is insane on defense, man. He just couldn't ever shoot, like, ever. He couldn't give you anything on offense, and now he's suddenly a 40% shooter. That'll be an interesting pickup for somebody. I'm curious who locks him down this year.
For sure. No, I definitely like that look, but, yeah. No, I had to get out. Dude, again, this is the same reaction you had towards me when I said Gino's good, bro. I'm waiting for Kevin Knox to have a 20-point game this year. It's just, hey, put it down now. That boy is going to have a 20-point game and just absolutely snipe because one of these dudes is going to go get down and get hurt, and he's going to come in 15 minutes and just shoot 10 threes. That's all you have to do here.
I think there's a more likely chance that he's cut before that ever happens. 1 and 2, if that does ever happen, it's going to be because the score was 100-66, and they were like, okay, Dame could have the rest of the night off. Kevin Knox can go in there and take a couple.
You said it's possible. You even said it's there. I'm telling you, dude. I'm putting that out there. Even 15. You're saying this guy can't even play NBA basketball. I get it. I'm not doubting him, but 15 points. This man is going to come off the bench and just snipe for one game. He's going to pull like a Doug McDermott type of game. Just you don't even hear from him for 3 weeks, and then he just pops off for 20.
I just had to check my phone real quick just to make sure he wasn't cut while we were talking about.
No, he's in the trade. I don't know. That trade is weird too, though. That trade is weird because I don't even know if it all cleared yet.
I think it officially did last night. I think the Warriors just said, fuck it. Yeah. Because you can't undo a trade like that. Like, you can't just be like, okay, give us Wiseman back.
4-team trade, too.
I hope Portland gets penalized in some way, though, in the offseason, like picks. You can't do that. You can't just be like, yeah, he's good. And then I don't know. That's kind of messed up, but we'll see.
I might have to bide my time and wait 20, 30 games to even see Knox find the floor. But when he does, I'm going to be right back here, and I will be bringing that up immediately. I will be so happy once it happens, just so I can get that off my back. Hey, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, before we move on, Roger Kwame Brown better than Knox. I think we can agree with that.
Oh, I agree with that. Kwame Brown was a tank, bro.
And the final thing I'll say is I hope it happens on like a Friday night. So you just have to sit on it until Monday. Like all weekend, you're just thinking about Kevin Knox before you can finally bring it up. That's what I hope when it does, if it ever does happen. Maybe it happened in the Euro League. Would you victory lap that if you did it for maybe Madrid or something like that?
Yeah. It would have to be a 30 piece for me to be happy about it, but because the dude's probably playing fucking 40-year-olds out there just running around. But hey, dude, I'm ready for it. I am going to be waiting in the wings. I'm going to make a post-it note right here. Check Kevin Knox box score, and guess what? The first 10 of them might be ass. 3 minutes, 2 shot attempts. But hey, first one goes down, shoot or shoot, baby. That's all I like to see. Maybe Damian Lillard's going for a 20-assist game, you know?
We'll see. Only one way to find out.
I've made a lot of bold claims, and a lot of them have found a way to make me look good later in the future. This one is probably my boldest one I've gone out on one. Because the Tony Pollard slander I was hearing on there, I had to stand up for my guy.
I think Gino was the best one. Just as a little, I think Gino, because when you were talking about Geno Smith, at first I'm we're betting on the end. I'm serious. You need to stop. You know what I mean? I was like, why are you betting? This is bad for the show. I'm worried. We're betting on, and he was hitting. So that's the one that I actually got to give you the most credit for, because I've been watching these games and I'm just I don't understand what's happening here. And I don't know if that's gonna happen again. We'll see. Oh
God. Hey, go Geno, baby. Goes on until next year, 2023. Go Geno. But yeah, let's go through our recap. I saw Terrence and Ryan in here, both of our guys who love those long shots. We have them for you. I couldn't let Stu beat me in terms of the odds today, so I had to double up just to make them longer than Stu's, just because I can't let him hit that, right? So let's do our quick recap here, and we'll get to our long shots.
Yep, started out Collin Sexton over 4.5 assists, -108. Playing that one on FanDuel for half unit, and we're going to circle back when those first quarter lines are out. Then we're going over, if you need to wait for Embiid, that's fine. I'm locking in right now. We're going Sengun under 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists against the Philadelphia, not Eagles. Haha. Just if you're an Eagles fan, you guys lost. That's pretty funny to me. Got my Commander shirt. He's on the 76ers, so we're going Sengun under 30.5 PRA in this one.
Beautiful. I will be on Trey Young, points assists over 37.5 to go along with my same game parlay of Damian Lillard, 30 points in AD, 12 rebounds on FanDuel. Shout out to the Sixers, too, picking up Dwayne Dedmon to play 3 minutes when Montrezl Harrell falls out in 8. So I saw that. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? But I just saw that they picked him up there off waivers or whatever. So
Dwayne Dedmon definitely better than Montrezl Harrell, by the way. He'll play over him. I feel pretty confident, but Montrezl Harrell is really bad at this point in his career. Did you see they asked him how he thought he can get better, and he just said, I don't know. That was really funny to me. It's I don't know, man.
he's the same guy, right? Just high energy, give him 15 minutes and see what he can do. Like, one shot I did want to give up is Andre Drummond. Have you seen some of these games this fucker's having in 14 minutes of action? The dude is just sweeping doubles in 14 minutes. Why is he not just getting 20? Why don't you just run him 20? You could almost put Vucevic at the damn 4 for what he's shooting threes, for how much he's shooting threes, dude. But that's what I'm saying. He's a center that's shooting probably more threes than he is actually doing paint stuff. So it's like, I'm watching Drummond down there. All he does is stand right there. Oh, let's go. And then he runs on the floor, gets a steal because he just steals three passes a game just because he's Andre Drummond. So, but yeah, dude, I was seeing some of his numbers. I'm like, 14-minute double-double. That's got to be a record. Like, it's crazy. But speaking of double-doubles, I don't know how that all came back around to coming exactly how I wanted that to happen. Did not even come through my head that was going to happen here. But we'll get you there. Hopefully he can hit it in 12 minutes here for you, like Andre Drummond, but 12-1.
Yeah, 12 might be a little bit of a good, tough ask right here. But the good news, Spencer Dinwiddie in his first 2 games, already playing 30-plus minutes, already locked and loaded into the rotation. I just think this is a bad number. 12-1 for Spencer Dinwiddie to get a double-double. He's averaging over, obviously, 10 potential assists in both these games since coming over. Also averaging 9.8 rebound chances per game since coming over. So he's actually been involved not just in the scoring, but in the rebounds and assist departments as well. I think the 10 points will obviously be the easy part right here. I'm banking that assist is it, but I do like kind of like your D'Lo thing. We could get rebounds. He's been sitting at 5-6 rebounds these first 2 games coming over, so not completely out of the question, but it does seem that he is kind of taking more of that facilitator role, while Bridges is taking more of that score role. Obviously, you have Cam Johnson, we have Claxton to kind of operate that pick and roll. This number would never be this high in a Luka-less game, right, when he was the kind of commander over there. I'm just not sure why it's this high in this new situation. I think doubt is the answer. I think they don't really know. It's kind of a lot of uncertainty in the air. I think that makes 12-1 a great number right here. So it's only, I believe, 700 on FanDuel, but up to 1,200 over on DraftKings. I really like this one. And then if you want to really get crazy, the other double-double I like Sexton double-double a little bit as well. 23-1.
Oh, God. That's oh, man. I was not expecting to hear that one there.
Well, it's just 2 numbers. I feel like I've done this long enough where I can just stare at a line and just go, like, that's not right. You know what I mean? Just scroll through the double-double. You see a lot that makes sense. That makes sense. The Dinwiddie one was the number one that stuck out. Was like, that's not right. But I think Sexton should probably be closer to like 15 or 16-1. If he's going to average 13 potential assists per game, I mean, they could easily convert with all those Kessler dump-offs, Laurie, all that stuff. So I think Sexton 22, 23-1 is sneaky too. But Dinwiddie, he's my main guy. We're rolling double-double 12-1 right here over on DraftKings.
I love it. Wow, 1,200 on DK, well, plus 700 on FanDuel. That's a good look, obviously. I like the point you brought up with Luka there, because obviously when we were seeing him, he was like plus 600, plus 650 usually on those. And obviously, you're not stepping into a usage bump like that. I mean, when Luka sits, that's like a 15% usage bump for everybody around him here. And I mean, who are they going to really be running at that second guard spot, right? I mean, everybody's talking about Cam Thomas and that, but he ain't passing the ball. He ain't going out there trying to pass. And the nice thing is Cam Thomas takes one dribble and shoots. So that's hey, we'll count it as an assist. So we like to see that. I like the comparison with the D'Lo spot though, because just being able to even have that as an option as a guard is something not many guys can really say. And you know what I said? I can't let Stu have a farther long shot than me. It's been, I think maybe once I let it happen, but I can't let it happen twice. So I made it into a parlay just because I'm a D-gen, right? So double-double parlay of my boy Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler, I think, is like plus 310 on FanDuel. I only made this on FanDuel. It might be higher on DraftKings. I would assume it's probably a little bit higher on DraftKings. But I did not make it over there. But Jimmy Butler, 21, 6, and 5 so far this season overall, right? Obviously has the ability to rebound the ball well. Denver is the number one rebounding team, but I think most of that obviously goes from Jokic, right? Being able to be down there. Hoping we see a lot of 3 balls shot up here, getting those long rebounds, having Bam and Jokic kind of battle it out there. I think obviously you're going to see Jokic having to work a little bit harder on offense with Bam more than most people, right? Because obviously Bam is an elite big defender. So no Tyler Hero, or at least they're saying he's doubtful. So you're missing Tyler Hero. You're missing Kyle Lowry, who are probably two of the only other guys that are getting assists here. Bam, you could, I guess, run him out of the high post, but I don't see that being the case. I think that's going to be more of Jimmy running that point forward spot. So I think he can grab those. I think he get those rebounds because Bam and Jokic are going at it down in the paint. So just having that ability, giving me over plus 300. If anybody wants to check DraftKings, I did not check DraftKings for his double-double. But I really, really like that. And obviously, Draymond, quadruple double is plus 532,000 there. So if we look at Draymond, though, what I wanted to talk about was how many of these games he's missed a double-double because of points, right? And it's been more than what it should be, right? He's grabbing 12 assists in one of these games, only had 7 points, right? He had 13 rebounds against Memphis, 7 assists, 8 points, right? Even go against Brooklyn, he had 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 9 points. So just having that, I think he's only missed it 3 times in his last 11 games, grabbing double digits in one of those categories. Obviously, I wish that Curry was there because I think Curry really helps the assist prop because obviously he's just doing those dribble handoffs. But I like what you were kind of talking about there where they just kind of leave their second and third options there with Washington. I think Draymond gets his 10 points tonight. And if I have to put odds of him getting 10 rebounds or assists, I'll take that in a heartbeat. Just with how he has been performing. And he's been grabbing rebounds, obviously extremely high. I think he's like the 6th highest potential assist guy over the last 10 games. So can't get away from him. Draymond is finding his way to my card. This guy is he's just like a rash, man. He's just there, and I just have to keep going at it until we keep going at it and getting some money.
Yeah, I'll probably play maybe these separate, or maybe I'll run them in a round robin with something else out here. Oh, Terrence in you with the 22-0 on DK. Is that if that's
right.
just
well,
those
all right,
two?
guys, quick. Let me switch that over. I was gonna say I didn't get over to DraftKings for the long shot today.
Yeah, but hey, I like those prices a little bit better, actually. Maybe I will have to play. I was going to say I might round robin it up together, something like that. I mean, I like Butler. I'm kind of confused why Butler rebounds and assists isn't like ungodly popular today. Like it should be, right? I mean, what they're running an 8 or 9 man rotation, no Tyler Hero. The assist is obviously one way to get you that, but we know Jimmy Butler's gotten tons of double doubles with just rebounds alone. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious why Butler isn't more popular. I know Bam is still there, but guess what? Bam guards like a fucking guard. He's going out to the perimeter all the time. Like his flexibility is the reason why so many people have Bam banned for rebounds because he's going out to the perimeter guarding point guards because he's that good on defense. So I think Butler is actually kind of a smash spot for double-double, and maybe even we get a little crazy and maybe a little triple-double in there. And like you said, Draymond 10 points is going to be way easier against a team like Washington than it is against a lot of these other teams because we're just so uncoordinated that these really bad guys like Dwight Powell are dropping 22 points on us. So I like this look.
Do you think that you're going to see Kuzma play before the All-Star break?
Probably not. I don't think so. I mean, I'm not hearing that much reliable information from our beat reporters. By the way, NBC Washington's hiring. I can do a better job than these guys. Okay, what are we doing? Not asking any critical questions. These guys, they're not even making up rumors for us on the trade deadline. They just said nothing all day. What are you guys getting paid for? Like, come on now. Anyway, we haven't heard much reliable news about Kuzma whatsoever. Beal is back. Porzingis is back. I think they might just let it ride like this for at least a couple more games. Maybe get Kuzma 20, 30, maybe get him back, but probably just let him rest till the All-Star. That's what I would assume.
All right. I was just curious because I know that Beal did come back. I wasn't sure what they're doing, right? I'm surprised they brought Beal back.
I am
right?
too.
Like, there's 2 games before the All-Star break, dude. Yeah. Like, this guy's been in and out of the lineup how many times because of injury, and you're going to bring him back for just 2 games to play 30 minutes. He's not even getting his full role. You know, they're just playing him just to screw over my boy Denny Avdia getting me a freaking double-double on DraftKings.
Yeah, there we go. See, Terrence, let him know for me over there. I know tons about Denny Avdia. Okay, I can write about all those guys. So give me the chance. Lock and load.
All right, I think we got it all. I'm surprised to see no one giving us the combo one yet of all of ours together, but I'm sure it'll be there by the time we go through our finishing spots here. Stu, what do you got for the people today? We got our plays out. We got some long shots that I feel like are insane value today. What do you got for them?
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge slate today. So there's going to be tons more action from both of us over on Twitter. Obviously, I'll be posting in my Discord throughout the day. I know a lot of people in here are already in the Discord. Definitely a good place to be. So, yeah, we're just gearing in. We're getting locked and loaded. We're firing up a bunch of NBA props today. So you're going to be wanting to follow on Twitter, probably get those notifications on. I think a couple could be coming in at the very last minute. That's just the NBA. You guys know this. So lots to look forward to. I know you're on your crazy college basketball ride. I know you said the slate's kind of bad, but I'm gonna have to let you plug that and tune into whenever you do that next.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow. Mondays are usually NBA huge, and then no college basketball, just because Saturdays are huge slates. Everybody plays on Saturdays. Sundays, you see a lot of the mid majors and stuff like that. So I'll be back with it tomorrow. When you're feeling like you're on a run, though, you don't want to just force it just because.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you get like the engagement and shit. Like since we hit 8 in a row, but I'd rather just put out good stuff on that. So I'll be waiting until tomorrow because tomorrow's slate is just massive, and obviously Wednesdays is just as big. So maybe I'll have a college basketball play on here for Wednesday. But we look at Terrence bringing up plus 30,060. Christ. Hey, I tell you guys this every time. I've spent $10 on worse things than that. I'll tell you that much. And hopefully if Terrence hits it, he's getting a pass the prop merch that we haven't made yet. He's getting a pass the prop shirt, even though he just maybe marker on a white t-shirt. Hey, whatever works, man. Because this would be one of our bigger ones. I don't even think our long one that we missed by one Capella rebound was like 72-1. This is 300-1. So I will have to play this for a little bit because man, that would be an epic hit.
Yeah, just open up your the McDonald's menu, see how much a McChicken is, and throw that on here because I'm sure this is a better investment for your body at least than a McChicken is.
I don't know. The stress levels of coming down to 2 assists could definitely ruin me more than a McChicken when I'm sitting there looking at a $3,000 payout for what, $6 or $10, and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, just give me 1 assist, bro. Just give me 1 assist. Like, oh man, that Capella one still is sitting in the back of my head. So maybe I'm just being half the glass half empty type of guy right now because of the 72-1. Hey, I'll take this one over that one for sure. But we got everything out for you guys. If you guys have any other questions, we always say just drop them in the question or in the chat after. And we should get to it for you guys. A 300-1 play in here. We have that. We have everything else up and down the board for this 11-game slate. So if you guys enjoyed it, smash that like button, and we'll be back over on here Wednesday for another NBA slate to break down some spots here. So have a good one, guys, and best of luck on all your bets on today's 11-game NBA slate.